Mindy, I heard from my younger brother that you're finally engaged. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Juniper.
When do you plan to submit the marriage registration?
We're planning to submit it on our anniversary, which is in 2 weeks.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And what about the wedding? Have you decided when and where it'll be?
We're thinking of having the wedding on my birthday, so it'll be about 6 months from now.
6 months from now? Well, that's quite a bit of time, but it'll be here before you know it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm so excited about it. I really appreciate you taking the time to send me a congratulatory message on here. It means a lot.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. After all, we're going to be family soon.
Yes, we will be sister-in-laws from now on. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm excited about the prospect of building a close relationship with you.
I've never really had a chance to sit down and talk with you one-on-one until now. I hope we can have more conversations in the future. I'd love to get to know you better.
That sounds great. I've also wanted to have a good, long chat with you. It would be wonderful to get to know each other better.
I would love to hear more about you and your background. Louis doesn't talk much about his family, so I don't know much about your side.
Boys often don't discuss their families much, do they? Especially Louis. He's quite shy and doesn't really talk about his family much outside the home.
I see. I actually thought there might be some issues between you and Louis, like maybe you didn't get along well.
Oh, no, it's not like we don't get along. It's more like Louis might feel a bit embarrassed discussing his sister with his girlfriend. But when it comes to marriage, it's important to know a bit about the other person's family, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's natural to want to understand more about the family of the person you're marrying. Have you ever talked about your family with Louis?
Not really. I haven't shared much about my family with him, and I haven't heard much about his side either. Although there's something I've heard a bit about.
Oh, what's that?
I understand that you're curious. I'm actually adopted. When I was young, I lost my parents in an accident, and I was taken in by this family.
Oh, that's quite a story. So you're not biologically related to Louis?
That's correct. I'm not biologically related to him. My adoptive parents were friends with my biological parents, which is how I ended up here.
That makes sense. It's interesting because you don't really look like Louis at all. It seems like among the family, only you have a different appearance.
Yes, it's true. We don't share any biological connections, so our appearances are different.
I see. And what about your current relationship status? Are you single at the moment?
Yes, I've been single for a long time.
Oh, really? Do you mind if I ask why?
Well, actually, I was engaged to someone a few years ago, but it didn't work out. After that, I took a break from dating, and now I'm more or less resigned to being single.
Oh, I see. It must have been tough to go through a broken engagement. Did you ever think about getting back into the dating scene?
I did think about it, but it's been quite some time now. I guess I've sort of given up on the idea of finding someone at this point.
Well, that's understandable. Sometimes things just don't work out as planned. But it's good to know you're handling it well.
Thank you. It hasn't been easy, but I'm managing. It's just one of those things where you have to move forward and focus on other aspects of life.
And that's a healthy attitude. It's great that you're able to stay positive despite the challenges. I'm sure things will work out for the best eventually.
I hope so too. Life has its ups and downs, and sometimes you just have to make the best of the situation.
Absolutely. And thank you again for sharing all this with me. It's really nice to get to know you better.
I'm glad to share. I'm looking forward to building a good relationship with you and getting to know you better as well.
Same here. I'm really excited about the future and about being a part of your family.
Me too. Let's make the most of this opportunity and build a strong bond as family.
Definitely. And if you ever need anything or just want to chat, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Mindy. That means a lot to me. I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk and get closer.
I'm sure of it. So, let's look forward to the wedding and to the future. It's going to be an exciting time for both of us.
Yes, it definitely will be. Thanks for everything, Mindy.
You're welcome, Juniper. I'm really looking forward to this new chapter in our lives.
Me too. Here's to a bright future ahead.
Juniper, have you already arrived at the venue?
I just got here. I ended up coming a bit early.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I'm just so excited for the wedding today. I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
I see. Well, I'm afraid you'll have to go back home today.
What? Why?
We haven't prepared a seat for outsiders, so I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Outsiders? What do you mean?
I mean, you're not really part of the family, are you? You're not related by blood.
But I'm a relative of the groom, aren't I?
Yes, but you're not related by blood. You're essentially an outsider.
Mindy, what's going on? Did I do something to upset you?
It's not about being upset. I just don't want you to be a part of today's ceremony.
But we're family. Isn't that important?
Well, the reality is that you're not that close to Louis. Your brotherly relationship isn't exactly strong, is it?
That's not true. We get along fine.
Really? Because Louis rarely talks about you. It's almost like he's embarrassed to mention you. And from the family's perspective, someone who is essentially thrust upon them is often seen as a burden.
Why are you saying such things? It's not fair to judge me like that.
It's not about being fair or not. It's about how things are perceived. Your presence here might be seen as an inconvenience by some.
But that's not right. My adoptive family has always treated me as their own. They love me just like a biological daughter, and my brother sees me as his real sister.
And that's a nice sentiment, but it's not necessarily how everyone sees it. You're perceived as an outsider, and that's the reality.
I thought we were starting to build a relationship. Didn't you say you wanted to get to know me better?
I did say that, but I was just trying to gauge what kind of person you are. And let's not forget, you had a failed engagement, right? How unfortunate.
Why are you being so harsh?
Because, frankly, it seems like you have nothing to offer. It's amusing how you can still be optimistic despite being a burden and single at your age.
I don't understand why you're being so negative. It's disheartening.
It's not about being negative. It's about reality. An unmarried woman at your age, especially one who isn't even a biological relative, is seen as a liability to the family.
I don't see it that way. Marriage isn't everything.
For a family, especially one with traditional values, being unmarried at your age is a disgrace. And on top of that, you're not even Louis's biological sister. It's like adding insult to injury.
I'm really hurt by what you're saying. I thought we could be close and support each other.
I'm sorry, but that's not the case. I don't feel any excitement about having you as a sister-in-law. It's just not something I'm looking forward to.
I thought you were being genuine when you said you wanted to be closer. Were those just empty words?
It wasn't genuine. It was just a way to probe into who you are. And honestly, it's disappointing to see you still clinging to the idea of being accepted.
I'm trying to make the best of things. I thought being a part of this family would be a positive experience.
Well, from what I see, it's just a sense of misfortunes for you. And it doesn't help that you're clinging to this notion of family acceptance.
I'm struggling to understand why you're so harsh. I thought we could have a positive relationship.
Unfortunately, I don't see a positive future with you being a part of it. You're not someone I want to include in my life.
I never expected you to be so unkind. I really thought we could build something good together.
Well, my feelings are quite the opposite. I don't see the value in having you around, and I think it's better if you just leave today.
This is really hurtful. I don't know how to respond to this kind of treatment.
I'm just being honest. It's better for everyone if you understand where you stand and act accordingly.
I'm really disappointed. I thought we could have a future as a family.
I understand you're disappointed, but it's how things are. You're better off leaving now. It's best for everyone involved.
I can't believe this is happening. I'm really hurt.
I'm sorry if you're hurt, but it's important to face the reality of the situation. Please, take this as an opportunity to reassess.
Fine. I'll leave. I hope things will be better in the future.
I hope so too. Goodbye, Juniper. Juniper, I heard you're still at the venue. What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just hanging around a little longer. I arrived early as I wanted to make sure everything was in order for the wedding. I've been looking forward to it so much.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I need you to understand something. Since you're not a direct family member, you really shouldn't be here. We don't have a seat for outsiders. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
I see. I didn't realize. So are you asking me to leave because I'm not a direct relative?
Exactly. I know you're related to the groom, but you're not a blood relative. In our view, that makes you an outsider, and we don't have arrangements for guests in your situation.
Well, that's quite surprising to hear. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I thought I was included in the family celebration.
It's not just about being included. It's about what's proper and what's expected. You see, we have certain traditions and expectations about who should be present at such important events. Since you're not a blood relative, it complicates things. I hope you understand.
I understand. It's disappointing, but I'll respect your wishes and leave. I didn't mean to overstep my bounds. I'm really sorry if I caused any inconvenience.
I appreciate your understanding. It's just better this way. I'm sure you don't want to be in an uncomfortable situation when you're not truly welcome. It's best to avoid any awkwardness.
Of course, I'll make my exit now. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't intruding too much before leaving.
Thank you. And let me be clear. I'd prefer if you avoid any further contact with us in the future. It's not personal. It's just the way things need to be handled.
I understand. I'll respect your wishes and keep my distance. I didn't realize there were such strict boundaries.
Yes, well, there are boundaries, and they're important to respect. In the future, please remember that our family has certain expectations, and it's best to adhere to them.
I will certainly keep that in mind. I just hope there's no hard feelings. I didn't mean to cause any upset.
There's no need to dwell on it. It's just a matter of family dynamics and expectations. Sometimes, things are handled in a way that might seem harsh, but is necessary for maintaining order.
Understood. I guess this is how things are meant to be. I'll make sure not to intrude any further.
Good. And just for clarity, when it comes to matters like inheritance, you should know that all assets should rightfully go to my husband. It's a matter of fairness and family propriety.
Inheritance? Why are we discussing that now?
Because, as a non-blood relative, you have no claim to any of it. My husband is the biological son, and he should inherit everything. I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
I see. Well, I didn't expect to be involved in such discussions, but if that's how it's going to be, I'll accept it.
Yes, it's best for everyone if that's clear. You've been living off the family's resources, and it's important that the inheritance goes to those who are directly related.
I hadn't realized my presence was causing such issues. I thought I was a part of the family, but it seems I was mistaken.
It's not about being mistaken. It's about the family structure and what's considered proper. And it's better for everyone if these lines are clear.
I understand now. I'll make sure not to be a burden or cause any further issues. I'm sorry if I've been a problem.
Thank you for understanding. It's always better to clear things up sooner rather than later. I hope you'll respect these boundaries and not cause any more trouble.
I will. I'll make sure to stay away from any future events or issues involving the family. It's clear now that I need to keep my distance.
Exactly. And I hope you understand why this is necessary. It's about keeping things orderly and respecting the family's wishes.
I do understand. I'll take my leave now and won't intrude any further. I wish you all the best for the wedding.
Thank you. And remember, the absence of someone like you will actually make the event more enjoyable for those who are truly a part of the family.
I see. I hope the wedding turns out to be everything you've planned for. Goodbye then.
Goodbye. And remember, no need to contact us in the future. It's best for everyone involved.
Understood. Farewell.
Hey! Wait a second. What's happening here? I was just handed a divorce petition by my husband. Can someone please explain this to me?
Well, it's not surprising. Earlier I saw my brother downloading a divorce form online.
What? Why is this happening? I don't understand what's going on. Are you blaming me for this? What exactly did you do to cause this?
All I did was share the line messages between us with your brother and the family. I also showed them to your relatives. I thought they should know the full story. And your father's signature was on the witness line of the divorce form, wasn't it?
What? Are you serious? Why would my father's name be on it?
It's because everyone believes it's only right for you to get divorced. They think you've caused enough trouble.
So, just because I was asked to leave the wedding, everyone decided to get a divorce? This is completely unfair and illogical. I haven't done anything wrong. How can they see me as a burden when I was just trying to be a part of the family? It seems like you're imagining things.
You've been belittling me and causing unnecessary trouble. My family, especially my brother, is furious with you. That's why they're considering divorce.
This doesn't make sense. How can they jump to divorce over something like this? The wedding is about to start and you want me to just leave? What will I tell the guests who have come to celebrate?
Just be honest with them. Tell them that your behavior upset the groom and caused significant trouble. It's the truth of what happened.
There's no way I'll be shunned by everyone because of this. You must have said something to my family. You were lingering around the venue and talking to my relatives, weren't you?
I was simply explaining the situation and detailing what happened between us. I was only stating the facts, nothing more.
So the wedding is actually canceled?
Yes, it is. All of our relatives are leaving. We're calling it off because of this situation.
Wait a minute. You can't just destroy the wedding and then walk away. You need to take responsibility for what's happened. Do you have any idea how much effort and money went into planning this day?
But the money wasn't yours, was it? It was all funded by us.
That's right. My father-in-law covered the expenses, but now it's all ruined because of this. If we cancel now, we won't get any of that money back. Do you have any idea how much wealth has been wasted because of this situation?
It's almost laughable how oblivious you are to the impact of your actions. You really are a harbinger of disaster.
And what do you mean by that? I'm being blamed for everything, but I've done nothing to deserve this.
You're the one who should be taking responsibility. If there's financial loss, you should be held accountable for it.
Why should I be responsible for this?
Maybe you should start by talking to your parents. I've already shared everything about our family with them, including things you don't know.
This is so frustrating. I didn't expect things to blow up like this. What am I supposed to do now?
The best course of action is to accept the situation and avoid making it worse. The wedding is already over, and there is no point in trying to salvage it.
This situation is incredibly unfair. I was only trying to be supportive and involved, and now I'm being blamed for the disaster?
Sometimes actions have consequences. You should have thought about the potential fallout before causing such a disruption.
I was trying to be a part of the family, and now everything is falling apart. This is not what I intended.
Well, intentions aside, the reality is that the wedding is canceled because of what happened. You need to face up to it.
So what now? Everything's been ruined, and it feels like there's no way to fix it.
The best thing you can do is leave now to avoid any further conflict. Your presence is no longer welcome, and staying will only make things worse.
Fine, I'll leave, but this situation is deeply upsetting. I hope someday things can be resolved between us.
Maybe in the future things will improve, but for now, it's best if you just go. The situation is too tense to handle any further interaction.
All right, I'll go, but you should understand the pain this has caused.
We're done here. It's best if you leave and don't come back. Goodbye.
Juniper, I am so sorry. I had no idea you were the one who covered the wedding cost.
Yes, it was me. I contributed around $30,000 for the wedding.
I didn't know you were the one who paid for it all. That's a huge amount.
I know.
I heard that you had inherited wealth from your biological parents. I thought you were using that money to support the family who raised you.
My biological parents were wealthy, but I was told that my adoptive parents were the ones who had given me everything. My biological father was like an older brother to my adoptive parents when they were younger. That's why I ended up being adopted by them.
I understand. So it makes sense that your adoptive parents would love and cherish you. They wouldn't see you as a burden.
Exactly. I've always been grateful to my adoptive parents. They took such good care of me, and they used almost none of the inheritance for themselves. I've tried to use my money to repay them for all they've done for me.
That's why you were willing to spend $30,000 on the wedding?
Yes, I even intended to cover the honeymoon costs, but that offer was declined. I was planning to continue supporting the family financially whenever there were celebrations or needs.
I see. But now all of that is gone. I heard that the money came from my father-in-law, which is why I was curious. Why did you keep it a secret?
I didn't want to share the details about my biological parents' inheritance. Discussions about money often lead to misunderstandings and trouble, and I didn't want to cause any friction.
I wish you had been more open about it. I wasn't trying to leverage any favor from them.
The fact remains that the groom's side covered most of the wedding expenses.
I also learned why my husband was so furious. Apparently my actions had ruined the wedding, which is why he was so angry. I'm truly sorry for my disrespect and any harm it caused.
My brother is still troubled by this. He feels responsible for the failure of your engagement, even though I've assured him it wasn't his fault. He's really down about it.
I didn't realize that my husband had a period of seclusion.
He struggled with relationships in high school, which led to him withdrawing from social interactions. I took care of him during that time while our parents were busy. Because of that, I didn't have time for my own relationships, and I ended up breaking up with my then boyfriend. He's grateful for the support I gave him, though.
That sounds very difficult. I'm sorry for the challenges you've both faced. I want to visit your family home tomorrow with my family and apologize in person. I hope that will help clear things up.
Apologies alone won't change the outcome.
I'm genuinely sorry and regretful. Please, can you find it in your heart to forgive me and give me a chance to make things right?
My brother is adamant about the divorce. No amount of apology will change his mind.
Please, there must be something you can do. You seem to have a lot of influence with your family, and maybe you could help me in this situation.
You're the one who mocked me and created this mess. Now you want me to convince my brother to change his mind?
I'm truly sorry for my words and actions. I never intended to hurt anyone. I'm pleading with you to help me.
After everything that's happened, why would you expect me to assist you now? You should have considered the consequences of your actions before causing such chaos.
I didn't foresee that things would blow up like this. I'm asking for your help to find a resolution.
I don't think there's anything that can be done at this point. My brother is very stubborn and doesn't change his mind once it's made up.
This is devastating for me. Can't you do anything to help me?
It's beyond my control now. I suggest you accept the reality and move on.
Please, Juniper, this is more than just the wedding being canceled. The most painful thing is losing my husband. Can't you do something to help me fix this?
I can't change my brother's decision. He is resolute about the divorce.
If I pay you back, then will that make a difference? I'm desperate to find a way to make things right.
You want to pay me back? You should have thought about the repercussions before causing the situation. I'm afraid the damage has already been done.
Please, Juniper, I'm pleading with you. I'll do anything to fix this.
I'm not willing to help someone who has caused so much trouble. And yes, you need to return the $30,000.
You can't be serious. Are you saying you won't help me at all?
That's right. You need to face the consequences of your actions. Don't expect me to fix this for you now.
But Juniper, I'm genuinely sorry. I didn't mean for things to end up this way. I'm asking for a chance to make amends.
It's too late for apologies. The situation is already beyond repair. You need to deal with it on your own.
I understand, but please reconsider. I'm begging you to help me find a way to resolve this situation.
I've made my decision. The best thing for you to do is leave and stop trying to influence the situation further.
I see. I'll leave. But I hope someday we can find a way to resolve this. I never wanted things to end this way.
Don't come back here. We don't need any more trouble from you. Goodbye.
Please, Juniper, if there's anything you can do, I would be eternally grateful. I never meant for this to happen, and I truly regret all the damage caused.
I'm sorry, but my brother's decision is final. There is nothing more that can be done. Goodbye, Mindy.
I hope one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me.
I doubt that's going to happen, but I hope you find a way to move on from this. Take care now. The damage is done. It's best for the both of us to part ways now. Goodbye, forever. Thus, the wedding of my brother and Mindy was called off. The following day, an emergency meeting was convened with both families to discuss the situation. It was an intense and emotional meeting, with both sides trying to reach some form of resolution. Mindy and her parents were incredibly apologetic for what had happened at the wedding. Despite their heartfelt apology and the desperate efforts to mend things, my brother's resolve remained unshaken. His disappointment and anger were palpable, and it was clear that the damage done was irreparable in his eyes. During the meeting, my brother cast a look of disdain and contempt at Mindy. It was as though he viewed her as something undesirable, something he wanted to rid himself of as soon as possible. In front of everyone, he presented her with the divorce papers. The atmosphere was heavy with tension as Mindy, tears streaming down her face, took the pen and signed the documents. The signing was more than just a formality. It was the official end of their relationship. The divorce was now finalized, making the end of what was supposed to be a new chapter in their lives. Following the dissolution of the marriage, Mindy's parents stepped in to take responsibility for the financial fallout. They managed to secure the funds necessary to cover the wedding costs, which had been a significant financial burden. The wedding expenses, which had already been paid, were reimbursed, and this was a small solace in the midst of the chaos. Mindy, however, was deeply affected by the entire ordeal. The shock of being rejected and discarded by my brother took a severe toll on her mental health. She struggled with emotional instability and eventually withdrew from the world, retreating to her family home. It was as though the weight of the rejection had pushed her into a state of seclusion, where she could attempt to come to terms with her feelings away from the judgmental eyes of others. My brother, on the other hand, appeared to carry a significant amount of guilt. He seemed to be grappling with a sense of remorse for the way things had unfolded. He approached me with the demeanor of apology, as if seeking forgiveness for the role he played in the unraveling of the relationship. It was clear that he felt a deep sense of regret for how the situation had escalated, and he was visibly troubled by the impact it had on everyone involved. In light of the events and to support my brother, I began to think of ways to uplift his spirits and provide a positive distraction. I wanted to find something that would help the family move past this painful chapter. After some consideration, I came up with the idea of using the funds that were originally allocated for the wedding to organize a family vacation. The intention was to create new, positive memories that could help us all heal and move forward. A family trip seemed like a fitting way to bring everyone together and offer a reprieve from the emotional strain. It would be an opportunity for us to reconnect and strengthen our bonds in a setting away from the stress of our everyday lives. My hope was that the change in scenery and the shared experience would help us put the past behind us and focus on building a brighter future. I discussed the idea with my family, and everyone agreed it was a wonderful plan. We began to make arrangements for the trip, excited about the prospect of spending quality time together. The planning process became a source of optimism and a reminder that, despite the recent turmoil, there were still opportunities for joy and togetherness. As we prepared for the trip, the anticipation began to lift the spirits of those involved. It was clear that the idea of creating new memories and enjoying each other's company was helping to ease the lingering sadness. The trip was not only a chance for relaxation, but also an opportunity for reflection and growth. In the end, the family vacation proved to be a success. We all returned with a renewed sense of unity and commitment to moving forward. The trip allowed us to bond over shared experiences and to find solace in each other's company. It was a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always the potential for healing and renewal. The events surrounding the wedding and the subsequent fallout were undoubtedly challenging. However, by coming together as a family and focusing on the positive aspects of our relationships, we were able to navigate through the difficulties and emerge stronger. The experience served as a reminder of the importance of support, understanding, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Now, as we continue with our lives, we hold on to the lessons learned and the strength gained from this period. We are determined to move forward with a sense of hope and commitment to cherishing the connections we have. The journey was tough, but it ultimately reinforced the value of family and the importance of facing adversity together. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.